The village of Kaelin's Peak lay shrouded in mist, its wooden houses and thatched roofs blending seamlessly into the rugged landscape. It was a place where tradition and superstition reigned, where the air was sweet with the scent of burning incense and the sound of chanting monks carried on the wind. For Aria, a determined single parent, it was a place of refuge, or so she had hoped. She had fled here with her young daughter, Lyra, to escape the relentless pursuer who had haunted her for months. As she navigated the narrow streets, Aria's eyes scanned the crowds, her senses on high alert. She had thought she had left her past behind, but the familiar face that emerged from the throng of villagers made her heart skip a beat. Kael, her childhood friend and confidant, stood before her, his eyes locked on hers with a mixture of surprise and concern. Aria's instincts screamed at her to flee, but her legs seemed rooted to the spot. "Aria, what are you doing here?" Kael asked, his voice low and urgent. "I thought you were elsewhere." His eyes flicked to Lyra, who clung to Aria's hand, her eyes wide with curiosity. Aria's grip on her daughter's hand tightened, a surge of protectiveness coursing through her veins. "I had to leave," Aria replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "He's been following me." "Kael." "I had to keep Lyra safe." Kael's expression darkened, his jaw clenched in anger. "I'll help you," he said. "We'll keep you both safe." But Aria knew that Kael's help came with a price, one she was not willing to pay. She had always been a rebel, refusing to conform to the traditional ways of the village. Her relationship with Kael had been a secret, one that could have brought shame to their families. As the days passed, Aria grew increasingly uneasy. She knew that her pursuer would not give up easily, and the village's isolation made it the perfect trap. She began to experience strange and vivid dreams, full of dark forests and twisted creatures. Lyra, too, seemed to sense the growing unease, her eyes taking on a haunted look. Aria knew that she had to face her deepest fear, the one that had driven her to flee in the first place. One night, under the light of a full moon, Aria set out to confront the darkness that had haunted her for so long. The village was bathed in an eerie glow, the shadows cast by the moonlight twisting and writhing like living things. Aria walked alone, her heart pounding in her chest, as she made her way to the ancient temple that loomed over the village. It was a place of dark legend, a place where the old gods were said to whisper secrets to those who dared to listen. As she approached the temple, Aria felt a presence behind her. She turned to see her pursuer, his eyes blazing with a fierce and malevolent intensity. Aria's heart seemed to stop, her breath caught in her throat. But as she looked into his eyes, she saw something there that gave her pause, a deep and abiding sorrow. It was a sorrow that she recognized, one that she had seen in her own mirror. In that moment, Aria understood that her pursuer was not a monster, but a man who had been driven by his own fears and doubts. She saw that he was not so different from herself, that they were both bound by the same chains of tradition and expectation. And in that moment, Aria found peace. She knew that she did not have to run, that she could face her fears and emerge stronger on the other side. As the sun rose over Kaelin's Peak, Aria stood before the temple, her pursuer at her side. Together, they walked into the village, their footsteps echoing off the mountainside. Aria knew that she would never be able to go back to the way things were before. But she also knew that she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. She had found closure, and with it, a sense of peace that she had never known before.